Let's take a closer look at the consumer with MasterCard's Pulse on Consumer Spending. Joining us now, Steve Sadoff, Senior Advisor for MasterCard and former Chairman and CEO of Stacks. Steve, very good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I guess first headline question, and we can dive into MasterCard's report a little bit more, is the broader strength of the consumer and what you're seeing there and the key factors you think it's relying on at the moment.
Well, I think Steve's comments were very helpful and good. The consumer is coming back from the depths of the pandemic. If you look back in March, go back several months, we were down 14% in consumer spending. What's happened is that over the last several months, it's strengthened. We're now down at a low single-digit decline. But remember, coming into the pandemic, we were growing at 4% or so. So what's happened is the consumer has stabilized, but at a slowing growth rate. And we've had dramatic differences from one sector to another. Digital obviously has almost doubled from where it was before. Categories that had been stable, things like home, hardware, grocery, have been the winners. And what's interesting to me is that some of the MasterCard Recovery Insights are saying that other categories that had been in very poor conditions, such as travel and entertainment, are starting to come back. And we're seeing green shoots. So we're seeing this shift going on. We all know who the winners have been. It's been the large companies that have been able to provide safety, that have been providing the basics, the needs. We're now moving into wants. People have been cooped up in their homes. As the economy has started to open, things like restaurants have seen some substantial improvements. Mini vacations, not so much the air travel, but hotels that are nearby home, car rentals, micro-mobility. Some of the MasterCard insights are really showing some substantial improvement in some of these categories.
I mean, Steve, as you said, those insights in the travel area in particular definitely stood out from the MasterCard report. Air travel obviously still suffering, but some other forms of travel bouncing back more strongly. And I guess that speaks to leisure travel versus business travel. What are you seeing in terms of the likelihood that business travel will rebound anytime soon?
Oh, I think business travel is going to be a slower recovery than the consumer. Right now, what you have is the consumer who has been saving. Steve was right. The savings rate is up. The question is, how is it going to play out over the fall? And people are cautiously optimistic. But consumers are traveling. They're staying at hotels. They're going nearby. Business travel is going to be slower. And I think it's going to be different over time. We've all gotten used to the Zoom technology. The short, let's travel cross country for a 24-hour trip, that's going to take some time before it gets back. And you're going to see a mix and an evolution of how business travel is done. It will come back. There will be conventions, but it's not going to be the fast recovery. I think it's going to be the consumer, more local. It's going to be spending on restaurants over time as they open up. But I think that the consumer will drive it before the business travel.